The Trump administration is exploring a significant administrative overhaul by transferring the federal special education portfolio, including oversight of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, from the Department of Education to the Department of Health and Human Services. This move is a crucial step in the administration's publicly stated goal of dismantling the Department of Education. Fueling the controversy is the fact that HHS is currently led by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose history of promoting anti-vaccine theories and unfounded claims about the link between vaccines and autism has raised deep concern among disability rights advocates and medical experts. The potential shift follows recent mass layoffs within the Education Department's Special Education and Civil Rights divisions, accelerating the functional reduction of the department. Reasons for the proposed change. The administration cites several reasons for this major restructuring. Philosophical goal of deregulation. The core motivation aligns with the conservative policy objective of minimizing the federal role in education and shifting authority and funding decisions back to state and local governments. Closing the Department of Education is a long-standing goal for many conservatives. Historical precedent argument. Supporters of the move, including Education Secretary Linda McMahon, argue that IDEA and similar programs predate the Department of Education, established in 1979, and were previously managed effectively by the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. They suggest a return to this structure is logistically sound. Consolidation under HHS. The administration frames the transfer as a way to consolidate disability-related services under a single agency, which already manages many health and developmental programs. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s influence. Secretary Kennedy's presence at HHS, coupled with his strong focus on issues like autism that he has characterized as an epidemic, provides a clear, high-profile destination for the special education programs. His personal involvement in a broad Make America Healthy Again initiative, which includes tackling conditions like autism, positions HHS as the agency ready to absorb these responsibilities. Potential consequences. This proposed handoff carries profound consequences for the $15 billion program and the millions of students and families who rely on it. Negative consequences. Erosion of educational focus. Moving IDEA to a health-focused agency could lead to a fundamental shift away from its core educational mandate. IDEA is a civil rights law designed to ensure a free, appropriate public education. Placing it under an agency focused on health and welfare risks deprioritizing educational access and accountability. Jeopardy to legal protections. Advocates fear that a restructuring could undermine the enforcement of IDEA's detailed regulations, which cover everything from individualized education programs to due process rights. The focus might shift from educational progress to clinical management. Impact on trust and policy. Secretary Kennedy's history of promoting unproven theories on autism causes creates a high degree of distrust. His leadership could lead to federal policy that is not grounded in established educational or public health science, particularly regarding screening, intervention, and inclusion practices. Administrative chaos. The mass layoffs at the Education Department have already created instability. An agency transfer of this magnitude, affecting billions in state grants and thousands of school districts, will inevitably cause significant operational disruption and confusion regarding program administration and compliance. Potential positive or intended consequences. Holistic service integration. Proponents argue that combining education and health services could lead to more streamlined, holistic care for students with complex needs, particularly those with developmental disabilities. Innovation in care models. The shift could potentially allow for new, integrated state-level service models, though this would rely heavily on state capacity and congressional cooperation. Predictions and solutions. Prediction. Legislative and legal battle ahead. The transfer of IDEA is not solely within the executive branch's power. As a statutory program, its permanent move and the closure of the Education Department will require congressional action. This will likely trigger a fierce, drawn-out legislative and legal battle, particularly given the strong bipartisan support that IDEA traditionally receives. The administration will likely try to use administrative workarounds, such as outsourcing program management via memoranda of understanding. But these are vulnerable to immediate court challenges. It is highly probable that the ultimate disposition of the special education portfolio will be decided in the courts or via congressional standoff. Proposed solutions for stability. To mitigate the risks and ensure the continuity of essential services, stakeholders and Congress could pursue the following solutions. Congressional mandate for a standalone office. Congress should pass legislation making the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services a permanently protected, independent entity with a defined educational mission, regardless of which cabinet-level department houses it. Increased congressional oversight. Lawmakers should immediately step up intensive oversight and funding scrutiny to prevent any administrative action that undermines the enforcement of IDEA and the expertise of career special education staff. Advocacy mobilization. Disability rights organizations and parent groups must continue a strong, unified campaign to lobby Congress, emphasizing the legal, educational, and civil rights nature of IDEA. To counteract the administrative push toward a purely health-focused model. State-level contingency planning. State and local education agencies must begin developing contingency plans for administrative chaos, focusing on securing funding streams and ensuring continued compliance with individualized education programs, even if federal guidance is delayed or contradictory.